one more video with the Black B-Bender. I have been rambling on about it and been asked about the specifics of this guitar, talked about how I bought it, how it came to me, and some of the more notable experiences playing it. But got some technical requests to just kind of talk about at least the state it's in now. And it'll probably stay like this unless something breaks or something like that. But so it started life as a 1999 custom shop double bound B-Bender. So the body and neck, it's not a parts guitar. It was kind of hard to find them, but in the late 90s there, Fender had like the American Standard series, and then they had the American Deluxe series, and then they had the American Custom series of, Strats and Tellys. And this is the American Custom. So it's a Fender custom shop and double bound. That's what it started life as. And then, so the hardware is mostly original to it. It's the original bridge that's on it. And then these locking tuners were original to it as well. It did not have 007 on there. That was put on when I was probably, 21, 22. Might be a fan. Anyway, so I called it that though because it got on the road when I was playing with Dustin Lynch. This guitar got nicknamed. Dustin is a nickname fanatic. If you're around him for more than 5 minutes, you're going to have a nickname. So mine was Tone Dog. That was my nickname. And the guitar's nickname was Bond because it was black and white like a tuxedo, and it had the B-Bender in it, like the knife in the shoe kind of gadget type guitar. So he always called this guitar James Bond or Bond. So the guitar tech, labeled it Bond, and that's that. So on the set list, when it said Bond, they knew B-Bender Telecaster, and so it got that tag. So that's where that came from. But anyway, it was the pickups it had in it originally were those Fender noiseless pickups that they put in the American Deluxe and the American Customs, and they were pretty good. They're stacked humbuckers that Fender makes. They're not terrible sounding. I don't know what they do to them to make them bitier. They're humbucking pickups, but they do have like a more crispy high end to them than a regular humbucker would have, even a regular stacked humbucker. And that translates in a lot of amps to a very brittle, bright sound. So those noiseless pickups, they're not bad. They're pretty good. The idea was to get a single coil sound out of a humbucker pickup, which is what everybody's going for because nobody likes, buzzing. There it is from the lights. This guitar is just plugged straight into that Pro Reverb right now. But I prefer single coil tone. I think they just sound better, whether they're single coils or P90s. So the noiseless pickups and it didn't have a middle pickup when I first got it. So the noiseless pickups got taken out. I dropped in a Seymour Duncan Antiquity bridge pickup. And then this neck pickup is the Blues Special, the Fender Blues Special. Supposed to sound like a Strat neck pickup, and it kind of does. It's still got a little bit of that top end that I think comes from the metal cover and then the smaller bobbin. But if I take the tone knob back a little bit, it's got that sound. And then if I roll it all the way back, it's nice, So it's usable. I like that neck pickup. I don't play the neck pickup a whole lot, but it's there. It works. And then living in Nashville and kind of being around players out there, finding pretty good access to Brent Mason and Steve Warner up close, seeing those guys play. And then also digging into Reggie Young and all the stuff he played on. He played a telly that looked a lot like this. It had a humbucker in the neck, but they all have this Seymour Duncan hot stack middle pickup. And those guys all run their middle pickup a little different. But I like to run this not on a blend. You know, Brent's middle pickup, it's a hot stack. But his has got a third knob that he can blend that middle pickup in to regular Telecaster setup. Steve Warner's setup, I heard him talk about it a few times. He's kind of done both, 5-way switch or blending it. I don't really know what his red telly is doing these days, but I know he's gone away from this hot stack and he's running Ron Ellis pickups, straight single coils in those tellies. So this is more like the 80s setup. But this one's set up a lot like Reggie Young's, where it's like a Strat 5-way. So this is basically Stratocaster wiring, and it's got a coil split right here. So I can run a single coil or a humbucking setup there. And I leave it on humbucking most of the time. And it sounds like this. And if I run it as a single coil, so sounds pretty good, I think. It's definitely got a Strat vibe. So versatile guitar. It can really cover country. You know, the bridge is not really high output. It's a low output, actually, like right around 6 ohms or so. Telecaster. So, you know, it's got the Tele bridge sound, fat or thin Strat, out of phase kind of thing. The middle pickup is cool by itself with the tone knob rolled off for like, I don't have a slide, but if you were playing, it's a good tone for it. And then neck pickup. So I like it. It's real versatile guitar. It's a great road guitar because it's a polyurethane finish on the neck and the body. So no matter how grimy or nasty it gets, you just hit it with some cleaner and it polishes right up. The locking tuners are great for making string changes super fast. You just, you know, couple winds, undo the string, off it comes, new one in, lock it down, tune it up, boom. So, you know, it's really good on the road. I like these bridge setups that are on these American Standard and American Deluxe guitars from this era, because these are stainless steel saddles, and then it's a chrome plated steel bridge. Rust, not a problem. So this doesn't get all rusty and grimy. And a cool little secret about these, if you take the coated steel, they have black carbon steel, I don't know what you call the little screws that set the action, but the set screws on the saddles. If you take those, the ones that come with it out, throw them in the trash can, and get stainless steel, either slotted head or Allen headed, hex headed screws, then you have stainless against stainless, and you can oil that. So you can literally just put some grease. I use white lithium in the threads, and then they don't get all mucky and dirty from sweat and grime. And if they do, you can just back the screw out, clean off, put it back in. And so that is maybe not the best sounding Telecaster bridge, but this bridge right here will handle the road. this is a really nice bridge on a working guitar. It does a good job, and you can get the intonation perfect. Where I do notice a difference between this setup and the 3-barrel setup is there is a tonal difference. I feel like this guitar has a little bit less ring than the barrel saddles on a Telewood, and it's also a little smoother sounding. It's not quite as aggressive on the high end. So, you know, that's a good thing, I think, live, because sometimes controlling the aggressive high end of a typical Telecaster is hard, but on these American guitars from the 90s, they don't have that to contend with. But when you need it, you know, you don't have it. So it's one thing. I do have some more traditional Teles, and they sound more Telecaster-y than this one does. But this guitar really does handle just about everything you throw at it. It's been refretted a couple times. The first time I refretted it, I just went with stock frets, wore those out, and then decided to go ahead and put stainless steel frets on, and had a lot of people tell me I probably wouldn't like them. And I don't know what those people were smoking, because I'm going to tell you right now, the best thing I ever did with this guitar was put these stainless steel frets on it. They are as shiny and polished as the day they went on, and I've never even cleaned them, not once. Probably been through 1,000 sets of strings. There's no pitting. They just, you know, ring forever. They're smooth. And I expected to get more high end. For whatever reason, I thought in my head, you put stainless steel frets on, the stainless steel frets will be brighter and snappier sounding than nickel frets. And I have found that on this guitar anyway, it's the other way around. The nickel frets had a more snappy fret noise to them than these stainless steel ones do. These stainless steel frets are it's less of a clicky fret noise and more of a thumpy fret noise. I mean, you can so you can't even, you know, it's not like clicky. It's more like a thump, almost like a bass. And there's no like buzzing or overtone off of the fret noise. And the action on this guitar is really low. You can bend on them, they're silky smooth. So love the stainless steel frets. I am committed to, as each guitar that I own needs frets, there'll be stainless steel frets. So at some point in my life, maybe all of my guitars would have the stainless steel. Love them. I love them. I know that's not a popular view. Not everybody's into them, but for me, I got really grimy hands and I get tired of cleaning frets. I lose more fret material to cleaning and polishing frets than I do to playing them, just to keep them clean. Just wearing them down just from cleaning on them. So I prefer the stainless steel. Another addition to this guitar was these cubic zirconia fret markers on the side. They kind of look like diamonds. That I stole from Danny Gatton, who did that to all his guitars. And it's cool to look at, but it's not about flash. They actually catch the light really well. So if you're in a dark room playing, if there's any light shining anywhere, it'll reflect off of these fake diamonds. And then also they stick up above the wood just a little bit. So, you know, when you have your thumb up here, you know kind of where you're at. You can feel the side markers. So that's kind of cool. What else is there on this guitar? I think that's about it. It's an ash body. So, you know, that's also another reason it's not quite as spanky as like alder or pine. It's a little more subdued. So, you know, that's volume and tone wide open on the bridge pickup through a Fender Pro Reverb. That's as sparkly as it gets. Now, I don't run it wide open like that. I usually run volume close to wide open, but then this tone knob rolled back quite a bit, a little bit more than half. And that's where that tone comes from. Anyway, that's the B-bender. Favorite B-bender lick would be, well, I mean, I like, so that's a pretty useful one. Just take what you're gonna bend like a A-style bar chord with a suspended second. It bends up into that. So you can make that a 7th, dominant 7th, or you can make it minor with a half-step bend. So that's useful. Taking a 6th chord, or that'd be a 9th chord, 6th chord. That's cool. In the context of songs, 2 Steve Wariner songs that were my first to learn, and Baby I'm Yours. Just kind of a neat thing. And then Some Fools Never Learn. So yeah, I love them. B-benders, favorite guitar I own.